He started to get a little bit of a reputation because he works some tours over in Japan. He has some big time matches in Philadelphia, as you mentioned, for Joel Goodhart. He even makes a couple of cameos with Global and Dallas. And he has his big break when he heads back to WCW, and he works with a lot of top talent like Sting and Ron Simmons and Vader. And his matches with Vader in particular were just brutal. In that era, I think I've heard you say before that sometimes, you and some other guys might go over to Howard Finkel's and have some steak burgers and watch the WCW pay-per-views. What did you think of these Foley Cactus Jack matches at the time?
I think by the time the Cactus was there, the steak burger days were over. But the unfortunate thing, like I said to Paul Heyman by the ECW after their first pay-per-view, was that, all right, man, unfortunately tonight you exposed your product. And in this case, Mick Foley, was exposed and was on a large format. And it said to us that, ooh, wow, man, I don't want him doing those moves on my watch. And some of it, a lot of it was unnecessary. And I don't think that there was any thought or any, and I know everybody's going to throw back in my face. You guys let him jump off the top of a cage. That was calculated, and that was as safe could be, but it was also calculated. It was laid out. It had safety precautions in there. But these were just Cactus doing things to get noticed. And that's where, the feeling was, okay, he's maybe not that bright because he's just doing this stuff and he's taking years off of his career every time he takes one of those crazy bumps. And there was enough there, man. There was enough there with his personality, with the way that he worked for a large man, that he didn't necessarily need to take those bumps. Now, for his character, if he wanted to take a crazy bump every once in a while that was calculated and that was laid out and that was safe, then by all means, yes. But not every night and not as many as he was doing at the time.
He put himself through the paces in WCW, that's for sure. My man would wind up losing an ear, have major concussions. He was even booked to have a silly story where he had amnesia. He's overcoming bad.
Maybe just been a shoot.
Well, who knows?
Who knows?
According to his book, even though he's here in WCW, he's still calling and trying to talk to JJ Dillon, and he's told the same thing every time. And I've heard from a lot of people that this was just sort of par for the course. You had to be persistent sometimes to get your shot with the WWF, and there would be
you
that.
You have to be persistent. Now, look, man, you have to be persistent in life.
That's right.
In general. Someone tells you no, and you can do it, and you really want to do it, and you want it that bad. Be persistent. Don't take no for an answer. Continue to go back. Find another way in. Change something about yourself that can help you get into what it is that you really desire and love and want to do. Have that drive within you and be persistent. So I say that is a life lesson to everybody, that if you really want something bad enough, do whatever it takes. Three kinds of people in this world: those that try, those that give their best shot, those that do whatever it takes. Guess which one succeeds?
I'm curious, in that era, what did it take to get, a little bit of attention? Was it, hey, I'm going to send an 8x10. Hey, I'm going to send a tape. Hey, I'm just going to call. Hey, I'm going to handwrite a letter. Hey, I'm going to pitch an idea or a character. Like, what would you say would have been a best practice? Not now, but way back then.
I'll tell you with a follow-up phone call.
Okay.
Yeah. To pitching ideas, I'm not going to listen to you. Because you don't get hired. We do that idea. And then you're, oh my God, they stole my idea. Now, we steal ideas from people all the time. All right. It's somebody came up with an idea and they come in, I got this great idea. I want to do this. Bing, bing, bing. That is an awesome idea. I'm not going to do it with you. I'm going to do it with somebody else. Hey, tell them. But when they don't work for you, and I don't want to hear their idea.
I got you. Foley leaves WCW in 1994, and he bets on himself. He's coming off big matches with Vader. He had tag matches with Kevin Sullivan and the Nasty Boys. It's disappointing that they didn't do anything with the ear story. I haven't really.
That was given to him too. That was something
right there. Like,
you got a guy walking around with no ear, and he's got the ear,
and he lost it in a match in your ring.
Yeah, and that one writes itself. Why not capitalize on it? And even if they didn't think that Cactus was a main event guy at that time, maybe this is something that could catapult people into caring about him and watching and want to see more. What other appendages are going to get ripped off of his body? And, that's intriguing. But to not do it, I think that one was probably ill-advised, especially considering the opponents, Vader and Mick. It just was, I thought that could have helped their program.
Hypothetically speaking, is that, I mean, I know that everybody talks about the Cactus Jack ear, but prior to that, was the biggest example of something like that Yukon Eric and Killer Kowalski from way back when?
For an ear, I guess, yeah. Killer Kowalski came off the top rope onto Yukon Eric with a knee, and when he caught him just right, his ear kind of came off. And look, man, it ain't ballet.
I love you just
and
real
then
visual. It kind of came off. I mean, his ear just kind of came off. It's no big deal.
That's what it is. But imagine the promos with the ear and just, oh, my ear, God, my ear. Man, I can't hear. What is that? Did Vader say something? I can't hear you because I don't have an ear. My eye.
I totally get why.
Eye, an ear, a nose. It all works. My nose.
I wish we had a Blue Chew ad right now because you could say that for something else, but we'll keep it going. Hey, it's Conrad Thompson here to tell you a little more about what adfreeshows.com is all about. Get early, ad-free access to more than a dozen of your favorite wrestling podcasts every single week, starting at just $9. That's less than 20 cents an episode each month. And yes, you can listen to them all directly through Apple Podcasts or your regular podcast apps. How easy is that? Ad-free shows also has thousands of hours worth of bonus content and docuseries like Title Chase, Eric Fires Back, Conversations with Conrad, and The Insiders. Plus new series like The Book with David Crockett, Monday Mailbags with Mike Chioda and Nick Patrick, and a whole lot more. And you want to talk about early? You can't get any earlier than listening to the shows live. You can be a part of the live studio audience as we record the podcast. Plus, ride shotgun alongside your favorite childhood heroes for live watch-alongs, Q&As, and other interactive experiences every single month. Come on now, see for yourself what thousands of other wrestling fans from around the world have discovered, that adfreeshows.com is the best value in wrestling. Check it out today, and hey, when you do, the first week is completely free. adfreeshows.com.